So MMA fans have been clowning Sean O'Malley for ducking Merab Dvalishvili for wanting to fight Ilia Topuria, who is infinitely more dangerous than Merab. And I think that MMA fans are being silly. And although I cannot stand double champ fights, which are just getting so watered down and we're seeing too many of them, or not too many, at least too many discussions of them, like Dricus du Plessis moving up after winning one title. No. Leon Edwards wanting to move up and fight Dricus du Plessis. No. But Sean O'Malley versus Ilia Topuria is by far one of the most intriguing stylistic matchups. The outcomes for both of them would be legendary, no matter who wins that fight. And if O'Malley fights Ilia Topuria and he loses, he still fights Merab. And so I want to argue in this video my case for O'Malley moving up a weight class and why it's a good thing right now. Now, of course, O'Malley has a fight in front of him, Chito Vera, who is a guy that, in my opinion, is so hard to finish, and we can't totally look past him. But come on, man, like, O'Malley's not losing to Chito. Let me just get this out of the way. Chito's too stationary. Like, this is not what the video is about. Assuming O'Malley gets past Chito, who's dangerous, but, you know, the guy couldn't finish Rob Font. You think he's going to finish elusive O'Malley, who has the ability to make it look kind of boring a little bit and keep it at range? It's just not going to happen, in my opinion. Assuming O'Malley gets past Chito, for the sake of this argument, he can either defend against Merab Dvalishvili and lose, which is also kind of likely. I think it would be like a 60% chance of Merab beating him. And if he loses that, we miss out on O'Malley versus Ilia Topuria, which is such an awesome fight. And another downside with that is that Merab is not going to fight Ilia Topuria. And that also would become an interesting stylistic matchup. Let's say Ilia starts dominating his division and Merab beats O'Malley and starts beating everyone and goes on to be the bantamweight GOAT, which he could do. He could very well do that soon. If he does that, we're going to be wanting that fight. How does Ilia do against the cardio like Merab? If he doesn't finish Merab early, how the hell is he going to keep up? This could be crazy. They're not fighting. Kamaru Usman, Adesanya situation all over again. They're both Georgian. They're never going to fight. It's going to piss us off. Let's instead take the small risk that O'Malley moves up, fights Ilia Topuria, who again is infinitely more dangerous than Merab. It's like, I understand that O'Malley doesn't want to get emasculated and dog-walked and like thrown around like a freaking ragdoll against Merab Dvalishvili, but you think he wants to freaking get knocked the fuck out? Have years taken off of his life? Go to sleep? Have a concussion? I mean, the devastating consequences of facing Ilia Topuria are a lot greater. So like, I just think it's silly to call out O'Malley for being soft or being scared when he's risking fighting the guy that just KO'd Volk. A guy that literally looks unstoppable, that has that aura, who has a granite chin too, who's defensively sound, doesn't make mistakes, is going to be much bigger, is going to be able to out-grapple him too. There's like an 85% chance of Ilia Topuria winning that fight. O'Malley taking that risk is kind of ballsy. Now, I understand if O'Malley beats Topuria, there's the risk of him not wanting to fight Merab. He's going to be comfortable in that weight class. He's going to say, I've already defended my belt at bantamweight. I want to defend one more time at featherweight. And then he could leverage him being a double champ, leave the UFC, and look for a boxing fight, or just look to like show off him being a double champ as a celebrity or do something else. There is a risk of that happening. But that also is paired with the shocking element or factor that you would get seeing O'Malley sleep, which is probably how he gets done, or outstrike Ilia Topuria, who is like an absolute juggernaut at this point that I can't imagine losing to him. Like, how shocking would that be? O'Malley would be the man. It'd be such a humbling moment for Ilia Topuria to lose to stick figure O'Malley. Adam 22 Malley. You know how embarrassing that would be? That would be crazy. It's more likely that Ilia knocks him out or subs him or just ragdolls him. There's like an 85% chance of that happening. And guess what? If O'Malley loses, we see the Merab fight. I want to see both of these matchups, and it's much more likely that we see both of these matchups if O'Malley moves up to fight Topuria before he fights Merab, as long as Merab is 100% the next guy in line for when O'Malley comes back down, which is most likely going to happen. And if O'Malley doesn't come back down, then we see Ilia Topuria get humbled, which would be a crazy moment. No one would expect that. It would be one of the biggest wins in UFC history. Sure, you could talk about O'Malley not really being that big of a star, but that's the type of win that would really take him to the next level, that would get him tons of respect. Beating the undefeated fighter that just slept Volkanovski would be insane. And then we could see like him versus Volk. And imagine how big a win that would be. That would be awesome as well. As much as I would rather Topuria beat O'Malley so that we can also see the Merab fight, and some of you guys probably want to see O'Malley get chinned. It's like, if you're clowning O'Malley and calling him a pussy or whatever, I'm sure a lot of you that are doing that aren't really big O'Malley fans and would probably root for Merab to ragdoll him anyway, and would probably root for Ilia Topuria to beat O'Malley anyway. So don't you kind of want to see him move up to see what happens there? You want to see how he deals with that beast like Topuria? Come on, man. I do. And he probably loses, and we see the Merab fight. And if Merab beats O'Malley and O'Malley has to defend again against Merab Dvalishvili, he'll never fight Topuria. Two Georgian brothers. And that's going to be, I understand it. I get it. Respect. But it's going to be annoying nonetheless. There's going to be two dominant champions. We're going to wonder like, damn, maybe Ilia is the answer to Merab. Or maybe Merab, if he survives the first round against Ilia, would just absolutely destroy him. And how alien-like would that be for Merab to beat Topuria? So I think that the best case scenario to where we can get both fights, if everyone wants him to fight Merab and Topuria, is that he fights Topuria next. Okay? I understand when guys like Dricus du Plessis want to move up after one title win, it's just annoying. I totally get that. But you also have to factor in that du Plessis versus Pereira, stylistically, it's cool, but it's not as cool. The storyline isn't there as well. People want to see O'Malley get humbled just as much as people want to see Topuria get humbled. Topuria has that aura, right? And O'Malley's like David fighting Goliath in that fight. No matter what happens, it's going to be crazy. O'Malley's first devastating loss. Topuria gets crushed by, stick figure Malley. That would be crazy. Whereas Leon fighting Dricus du Plessis, despite Leon maybe earning that chance a little bit more, is not that intriguing. So most of these double champ fights, I get it. Like the talk of all of them, it gets annoying. Like, how about you just defend your belt? Like, yeah, it'd be cool for O'Malley to fight Sandhagen, Merab, a bunch of other guys, and then move up. But it's just a hard ask. It's a tough ask for him to win all of those fights and then move up, rather than fight the most intriguing stylistic matchup aside from Merab first, where you're maybe biting off more than you could chew, and then drop down and fight Merab. And then if you beat him, fight Corey Sandhagen, the fight we really want to see. Okay? So let me know what you think of this argument. I honestly think that this is a really good argument. And yeah, who would I pick? I mean, I guess I could just give my predictions on all of these fights. For O'Malley and Ilia Topuria, I would go with Ilia Topuria. I understand O'Malley's a sniper and he has long, rangy attacks, but O'Malley really hurts people when he shocks them or catches them off guard with something that they don't necessarily expect, or they overextend like Aljamain Sterling did. Whereas Ilia Topuria, who already has a granite chin, yes, he's been dropped before by a head kick, but for the most part, he's getting better defensively. He's super rooted into the ground. He tucks his chin real low. He has a really good ability to eat shots. And yes, O'Malley has power, but a big part of it is like the precision and timing and range. He would have less of the range advantage by moving up to fight a bigger guy. Ilia Topuria has probably felt power that's kind of similar to O'Malley as well. Maybe the speed would be a little bit different, but at the same time, Topuria can get in on the inside of O'Malley, just like guys like Jan have done. Okay? People have gotten on the inside, and I think a big powerhouse like Topuria, especially if he establishes a takedown threat early, which, listen, you could say Aljo couldn't take him down. Aljamain's not necessarily known for his ability to get takedowns at a high clip, and therefore I think Topuria would have a much better chance. Not only is he bigger than Aljo, he's probably better at just securing the takedown to begin with, and then sure, he might not be better on the back, but he's probably better everywhere else. If he establishes that threat at the takedown, that's going to open up his striking even more. He's super patient. He's like one punch can rock O'Malley and put him away. I'd probably go with Topuria to KO O'Malley, or just to beat him up on the ground and sub him down there and just, be too much for him. There's a chance, though, that Topuria underestimates O'Malley. He's drinking his Kool-Aid, and all of a sudden he overextends and gets caught and gets finished, and O'Malley's the fucking man, right? There's a chance of that happening, but I would have to go with Topuria. And as far as O'Malley versus Merab, O'Malley has to finish him in the first round and a half. O'Malley's footwork is insanely good. So normally we could say things like, oh, if Merab makes it into the second round, he's probably going to start to dominate. But O'Malley's so good at keeping distance, he could extend the period of time in which like he can at least keep Merab at bay with perfect footwork by at least an extra 3 or 4 minutes. And I think that he has 2 rounds to get it done rather than just 1. But I think that Merab, if he gets his hands on O'Malley, that's just looking like a nightmare, man. Like his pace is a lot different than Aljo's. And there's a real good chance O'Malley sleeps him in the early rounds, but Merab's ability to recover is ridiculous because of how good his cardio is. And I could also see Merab taking a shot, getting dropped, and just surviving until the later rounds and ragdolling O'Malley as it goes on. And right now, I think Merab is the best bantamweight in the world. I know he's not the champ, and I do consider O'Malley to be the rightful champion, absolutely, even though I don't necessarily think he beat Jan. He beat Aljo, and Aljo beat Jan. Aljo beat Cejudo. Like, Aljo was the champ, maybe not the most dominant one. He's the champ. Doesn't necessarily mean he's the best guy on the planet at bantamweight. I think it's him and Merab, and I honestly think Merab's a little bit more scary than O'Malley in some ways because that drown him out style is just a real bitch to deal with, and it doesn't look so fun to face, right? Getting KO'd, it's like you get put out of your misery at least. Sure, it has more long-lasting, devastating consequences, which in and of itself, again, are you really going to shit on O'Malley and call him a softie for ducking Merab by fighting a guy that could put his lights out where Merab's just not going to do that? Come on. I mean, let's be serious here. You got to show him some respect for this. But at the same time, dude, if you lose to Merab, it's also just very embarrassing over the long term because of the way Merab beats you. I mean, just look at the way he's ragdolling Henry Cejudo with a gold medal. That's got to sting, man. That's got to sting. Now, I guess for O'Malley, it wouldn't sting as much because, hey, I'm not like an Olympic gold medalist. If I get ragdolled, it is what it is. But it's still kind of a bad way to go out when you're Sean O'Malley and you lose by Merab Dvalishvili just tossing you around, flinging you around the octagon, when people are already calling you a guy that's kind of pathetic, right? People say O'Malley's pathetic, O'Malley's this and that. It wouldn't be fun for O'Malley. Either way, I do respect O'Malley moving up a weight class, taking on a killer like Ilia Topuria, and I think it makes sense that we make this fight if he gets past Cheeto. Yeah, doing it in Spain would be kind of weird because I kind of want it on like even turf, you know what I mean? I guess making it in Vegas would make O'Malley the favorite too, but I honestly think that because Topuria, I mean, look at how many fans flew over to Anaheim. There was a lot of Ilia Topuria chants up against Volk, and Volk is a fan favorite. Like, O'Malley's not necessarily a big fan favorite, but he would have a lot of the American support. I don't know what neutral grounds would really look like, but either way, let's make that fight sooner or later so that the chances of us seeing both of them are a lot higher. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time.